All right, guys. Our next guest is one of the best striking coaches out there, training legendary fighters such as Michael Bisping, Tito Ortiz, BJ Penn, and of course, Cris Cyborg. He is the always delightful and straight shooting Jason Parillo. Jason, welcome back to the show. Fresh off his trip to China, by the way. How are you going today?
I'm going pretty good, man. How you guys doing?
We're always good. We're always good, man. We always like having you on the show, and there's a lot to get to, so we'll get straight into it. Of course, before we talk about Cris Cyborg versus Holm, which is the big news, we of course have to mention Michael Bisping's loss to Kelvin Gastelum over the weekend. Talk to us about that one, man. What did you think of the Michael that you saw in there, and how the fight unfolded?
Man, it was a tough go, huh? You know. It's when you start off the show by saying one of the best striking coaches in MMA, it makes me swallow the olive a little bit because I haven't been very successful. Well, my fighters haven't been very successful as lately, so
Hey, Cyborg's killing it, all right? Cyborg's just killing it.
Yeah, I know, and so was Michael. Michael was killing it as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that's what happens in life, in the fight game. At the end of, every dog has their day. It's not like you're going to keep on, we don't age like fine wine, like they say in Pulp Fiction. The fight game, the older you get, chances are you're going to eventually start losing and go the other direction. Yeah, that was, it was unfortunate that Mike wanted to take that fight out in China. He wanted to, to get that GSP fight out of his head, and he figured the best way to do that is go out and fight. And, that's what he did. The turnout obviously wasn't anything that we wanted. We could handle that. For me, it was devastating as well because of the way, I don't like to see my guys get hurt. You know what I mean? And he got, he got hurt in that fight pretty good. I mean, he's going to be okay. He's a double tough son of a bitch. But at the end of the day, you don't need to get, we don't need to take too many of those, this late in the career. So it was unfortunate. It broke my heart, I love Michael and I hate seeing him get hurt like that. And, I take partial blame. We're going to be out there regardless. He was going to fight that fight regardless, but, unfortunately it went the way it did.
And of course, a lot of people have huge respect for Michael and his amazing career, but also huge respect for him taking this fight so quickly after the GSP loss. In hindsight, do you think it was the quick turnaround that affected Michael? I mean, he did look like he got a little bit hurt in that GSP fight as well, and also just the quick turnaround in terms of his body healing and stuff like that. How much of a factor do you think that was on the fight that happened this past weekend?
Well, I don't, you don't know. I mean, you got to remember, hunger is a huge tool in this game. The desire is huge, and not that he didn't want to, not that he didn't desire to win or want to win or go out there to win, but there's, it's tough. You get burnt out. We were in camp for 3 months, 4 months, because we were in camp for a long camp for GSP, and we're straight in the camp for that. So, and I know this, we all know this, but the way Michael, I think, looks at it at the end of the day too is he ain't campaigning for a title anymore. He already did that. He spent 10 years doing that. He went the hard route and he won it. And, he's a legend because of what he did in the sport. Now he just likes to fight. So I think that was his mentality going there. I want to go in there. He's not going in there to lose. He's going in there to win, but, he's at the end of his career. He wants a few more paydays like we all do. I mean, everybody, after you're done fighting, what are you going to do? Mike has a lot of talent, a lot of ability to do other things, and he will do other things. But I know he's the type of guy that wants a proper nest egg because his family is so important to him, and he wants to make sure that they're able to live the life they're living now for the rest of their lives. And you got to make sure you fill that bank account up as much as you can.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, from that perspective, I guess it makes a lot of sense. And he has had a legendary career. He's, of course, a shoo-in for the UFC Hall of Fame at some point. But obviously, now we turn to March where, he's hoping to have his final fight in his hometown. Who do you think makes the most sense for him as his final opponent? I mean, there's obviously Yoel Romero, there's Chris Weidman, there's Machida, who's also coming off a loss. Luke Rockholder's been campaigning for the rubber match. Who would you like to see Michael face next?
You know what? Honestly, I mean, and I knew when you guys were going to call me, you guys would definitely be asking that question.
As well, yeah.
and you know I'm a straight shooter with you guys, and the other way I have to be.
Yep.
Otherwise it bites you in the ass if you bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't even want to talk about it, to be totally honest, who I think his next opponent is, because I don't even want to think about it. I mean, this, you know, in 1 month we're coming off 2 big losses and 2 main event losses, and to try to get my mind thinking around who I think he should fight next and all that, I just, when I talk about it, I don't even want to think about it. You know, I don't want to think about it because, one, I got to start putting energy into Cris Cyborg as well, and I've been helping RDA out as well. So, you know, I got to put my energy into the couple of the fighters I got fighting this month of December, and then you know, during that time, I'm sure we'll get our minds wrapped around it. But I'd rather not even think about it, to be totally honest. I would love to talk about Cris Cyborg.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll go to Cris next. But I'm just final question on Michael. Are you a fan of him having one more fight? It sounds like maybe you almost don't want to see this last fight happen in March because of some of the damage that he's taken.
Well, of course, I love the guy. I care about him. You know, it can go back to, you know, my history with BJ Penn as well. I love him. You know what I mean? And I walked down to some, you know, to some fights that I didn't agree with. You know, maybe you know, these guys are going to do it anyways. You know, and I say it time and time again. If I told Mike, hey, I don't want you ever want to fight again, and as a friend and as a coach and as, you know, as anything, you know, that's what you say. That's your advice. But I'm not his manager. You know, a manager's job is supposed to manage a fighter. You know, when a manager's got to make a decision on who he thinks he should place his athlete in next, if he should place him in there at all, or if he should never fight again. You know, not that, you know, it's got to be a group effort, obviously, on that. But as far as get my mind wrapped around how his next opponent is, I can't. I'm sorry about the plane going over my head. For 3 or 4 days, you know, off this last fight, you know, I don't want to think about him fighting right now. You know, when I talk to Mike, when I see Mike, when we're in each other's company, you know, then I mean, Mike was looking like a world. Really, his skill level is at the all-time high. I know he just got knocked the fuck out, and that doesn't show what his skill level is at. You know, but I know where his skill level is at, so it's hard for me to argue with him whether he should fight again or not. You know, but for me as a friend, not as a coach, as a friend, I care about him. And it's hard for me. As of lately, I'm still a little hungover from this fucking last one. So it's hard for me to say, fuck it, let's go. You know what I mean? In my mind right now, it's just like, okay, let's just sit on the back burner for a second and just think about what's going on. You know, and I owe him that to stop and think about it. I don't owe him to say, hey, Mike, we should fight Lyoto Machida next. We should fight Rockhold next. We should do this. Come on, we're going to get this win back. You know what I mean? If he was 28 years old, sure, that would be a fucking conversation. But at 38, going to 39, you know, the long career that the man's had, you know, and I know, here's the thing, is Michael's going to fight in London, whether I say not to, whether his manager says not to, whether his wife says not to, whether, you know, that's, you know, Michael, and that's Michael loves to fight, and he feels he owes it to his country to go fight in front of them one last time, you know. But get my mind wrapped around the opponent, or get my mind wrapped around just thinking about it right now. I'd rather have that. My you know, I got to let my brain rest a little bit on that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, completely, and that's understandable, and we respect that. So let's make your dreams come true. Talk, obviously, Cris Cyborg versus Holm. I mean, this is the big one, and considering how long this fight has seemingly been in the process of being booked, and how long Cris has campaigned for it, how do you feel that it's finally booked? And, you know, of all the options, is this the fight you wanted to see Cris have?
Oh, 100%. It's really the only fight out there that is. I mean, hopefully there'll be some more girls coming out of the woodworks here, but. That's the fight. I mean, that's the only girl with the big name, you know, in the UFC now. I mean, Ronda's gone.
Is this a better option than Amanda Nunes?
Well, either one for me. But I think Holly Holmes is a bigger draw. I think she's a more popular fighter. I think that's a fight that everybody will always question what would have happened if it didn't happen. You know, because here's a girl that knocked out Ronda Rousey in a devastating fashion. You know, her only loss was that Misha Tate that choked her. Was that Misha Tate that choked her? Yeah. Yeah. You know, that and she was winning that fight. So I mean, she's shown that she's you know, one of the best out there, you know, and of course, this is a fight, and the attention that she has gotten, and you know, along with Ronda Rousey, I think Cyborg deserves that same type of recognition. I mean, here's a girl that actually is better than all of them. Has been better than all of them. Been a champion for many, many years. You know, whether it's Invicta, you know, whatever umbrella's under. You know, she's been a champion for years, and you know, and people know who she is. But the coming out party will be when she fights someone like Holly Holmes and wins in a devastating fashion that she can beat her.
And I mean, it only got announced, it's about 4 weeks away, and that's really not a lot of time. So how do you feel about the time frame for preparation? And when did you actually start training Cris for this fight? Because we know you've been busy with Michael Bisping, going into China and the GSP fight. Have you had the time to work with Cris as well while working with Michael?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cris is always in the gym. Yeah. No, she lives 15 minutes from the gym. I mean, Cris don't leave the gym. I mean, Cris is always, I mean, you don't have to worry about Cris partying. You don't have to worry about Cris, you know, getting fat and eating too much. And I mean, you really don't have to worry about her not staying in shape. You know, it's just, for me as a coach, just getting her mind wrapped around the fight and getting her confidence there, you know, because we're all, regardless of how devastating any fighter is, you know, it's a, you know, fighting's no joke. You know, anything can happen, and everybody realizes that. So, but yeah, we've been in the gym, and we've always known that we're going to fight Holly Holm. So to think that we haven't worked, you know, we've been working for Holly Holmes, regardless whether we got that fight or not. We didn't know whether she was going to take it. We didn't know whether it was going to happen or not. But it was definitely in our minds, and you know, it was easier over the last handful of months or couple of months, or whatever, to kind of focus on Holly Holmes, whether we fought Holly Holmes or not, because that was our biggest threat anyways. You know, and so we might as well train for that level, and anything underneath that, you know, will be, you know, it will be an easy adjustment.
Well, I was going to say, like, when you look at Cris's past opponents in MMA, where do you think Holly ranks in terms of difficulty? Because you mentioned some of her accolades. Is it fair in your mind to say that maybe this is Cris's toughest test in MMA ever?
100% it is. 100% it's her toughest test. There's no doubt in my mind it's her toughest. I mean, think about, the level of striking that Holly Holmes has through her boxing career, and, you know, her kickboxing and what she displays when she fights in the MMA game. I mean, she's top shelf. She's top level striker. She's a boxer, and she kicks people's heads off their shoulders. You know, she's a very talented girl on her feet. She's intelligent. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to set people up. She knows how to read people. She gets it. Yeah, I mean, she's a high level fighter, and it's the highest level fighter that Cris is going to be in front of. And I'm extremely excited about it, because that's the girl. I want to see Cris in front of a girl like that. I want to see Cris in front of somebody that that can fight a little bit. You know, not that the other girls can't fight, but yeah, I think Holly's on another level than the other girls that she's fought before.
And it's funny, because last time you were on the show, you said you believe how Cris could beat Holly, Ronda, and Jermaine in one night. And recently, Cris said that she feels if she beats Holly, she's beating Ronda at the same time. Do you kind of agree with that notion?
Yeah, and I agree with what I said back then. You know, now that the fight's here, I don't want to undermine Holly, because in all reality, I gotta, you know, especially. You can start getting a little gun shy. You start losing a couple fights. You're like, oh shit. But I got a tremendous amount of confidence in Cris in this fight. You know, she's got to continue. She's got to believe in herself, and we got to be prepared for this fight. And she's training hard, and she's got a good crew of guys helping her as well. So, yeah, this is a fight that I think will put Cris on the map, and I think this is her toughest opponent by far.
And, you know, Cris is really modest when talking about herself, and she didn't want to call herself the female GOAT. But as her coach, do you think she deserves the title of greatest female fighter of all time if she beats Holly, considering she beats someone who had so much success in, you know, other combat sports and not just MMA, and, of course, Holly being a former champion?
No, well, I do think so. Of course I do. And I'm going to think that because I care about Cris a great deal, and she's my fighter, and I do believe that, and I do think that. Unfortunately, again, coming off she's going on her fourth fight in the UFC. This is the umbrella. This is the promotion that spreads throughout the world, so everybody can see that. I see it, and I believe it, and I think it's going to be shown. Do I think she deserves that title now? Yes. Do I think that she's going to earn it even more? Of course I do. I think that title is going to just naturally come to her because she's going to continue to prove. She's not on her way out. Cyborg's 32 years old. I mean, she's got some years left in her. Like I said, she doesn't abuse herself, so she's got plenty of miles left on her, and she will. If it's not proven now, it's going to be proven definitely in the future that she is the GOAT of women's MMA.
And obviously the big drawing card here is Holly Holm, a very decorated striker in boxing, multiple-time world champion. And here we have Cris Cyborg, who for a long time a lot of people believe is the most devastating striker when it comes to female MMA. So when these guys match up and you look at both striking styles, especially a guy like yourself, Jason, who's been around the boxing world and the MMA world, how do you think Chris's striking matches up to what many people believe is the world-class striking of Holly Holm?
So she's world class herself. I mean, if you go back and watch her last 5 fights, I mean, she got 3 or 4 of those fights. She's knocking girls out in the first round. She's got world class power as well. She's got world class leverage on her punches, which is something special, especially in women's fighting. I mean, does she have reflex like a cat? Does she know how to move? Does she know how to, walk? She knows all the motions and how to move and read what's going on. Like I say, Holly does as well. That power that she has is at the highest world class level. And in the gym, I put her in there with some really high level strikers, and she was in there with, what's that gold medalist, the Olympic gold medalist from out here, who's a 170 pounder. She fights at 168, and Cris was up her ass. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a physical way. I don't mean that literally, but she was giving her everything she wanted. She was making her miss. She was making her pay. She was boxing this girl. She was competing with her very well. And you can just see Cris. Cris can make any decision she wants in the fight game. She can go into kickboxing, boxing, or MMA because of to the level of striking that she has. And I really believe her striking is at Holly Holm's level, and it's surpassing Holly Holm's level, and it will show up the night of the fight on December 30th.
Her coach, Mike Winklejohn, Holly's, of course, has said to us many times that he feels like Cris is maybe not as fast as Holly and there to be hit. It sounds like they feel the speed will be on their side and they'll be able to sort of counter Cris. What do you make of that notion?
Well, that's cute. Good. I mean, they got to go in there with some type of confidence, now don't they? They got to believe in something. You can't go, well, we're fucked in all areas. I mean, maybe we might be as fast. We're definitely not as strong. We're more experienced. You got to look for all the tools you got and everything you have in your favor, and kind of build on those. So, they're going to talk about their fighter as if they're going to win. Of course, just like I'm talking about my fighter as if she's going to win. And I have more I believe there's more confidence on this side than that side because I think there's more questions and more doubts. When I watched Holly Holm's last fight against Beth Carrera or whatever that Beth girl, Beth, her level of striking is at the lowest level of the game. The lowest level of the game. And I watched her fucking bat around for 3 rounds. Holly trying to get her out of there. Did she finally get her out of there with the head kick? Yes. Should have that happened the first minute of the first round of the levels that both of them at? Yes, she should have knocked it. If she's at that high, look what Ronda Rousey did to that girl. Ronda Rousey, again, the lowest level of striking in the MMA game, went out and knocked Beth Carrera the fuck out in the first fucking minute of their goddamn fight. Styles make fights. You can't. There's no math on that, and I get it. But Beth Carrera is very ordinary with a low skill level in striking. Sorry, Beth, if you hear this interview, there's no disrespect to you, but it's just a fact. It is what it is. And I didn't see the Holly Holmes that fought Ronda Rousey out there when she fought Beth. You know what I mean? If there was, she probably would have smoked her a little sooner now, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I think a lot of people see your point. That's actually one of the big discussion topics here is, is it still the same Holly Holm that beat Ronda Rousey? And how do you think that translates into this fight when you see what Holly did, in the Bethe Correia fight, and even, I guess, just her run over the last year where it's sort of been, I guess, inconsistent. She's had some really close fights, but, she's sort of exchanged wins and losses. What do you think about her, I guess, mental state going to this fight? And do you think it is still the Holly Holm that beat Ronda Rousey?
Well, they always say that in every great fighter, there's a great fight left in them. Are we preparing for that Holly Holmes that fought Ronda Rousey? 100%. That's a Holly Holmes we expect. That's a Holly Holmes we want to fight. I hope that's a Holly Holmes that we fight. In all honesty, because I want Cris to walk away from this fight feeling what she should feel, and feeling dominant, and feeling like she is the go-to female MMA. We go out there and just smoke a Holly Holmes that's, not the same there mentally nor physically. Will we be happy about it? Will we be ecstatic about it? Of course, but I definitely want to see, the best Holly Holmes. And Holly Holmes is a true professional that's fought world championships many times in the boxing and MMA. And she knows how to get ready for a fight. And my guess is she wouldn't have taken this fight and I don't think her team nor her would take this fight if they didn't feel that, she was showing up to the gym, and she, not meaning physically, but showing up, being there and showing that she's still at that high level, that high skill level that she always been at. So I don't think they're just gonna throw her in there thinking, oh, maybe we'll luck out and she'll show up. I think she's there. I think she's got some rest since her last fight, and I think she's probably getting her mind around it. And I think this is going to be the biggest fight of her life, and she's going to prepare as hard as she can for it.
Well, this is very exciting stuff, Jason. We really appreciate the time. So as we let you go, you're known for your predictions. So we have to get one from you, of course. Everybody remembers that amazing prediction that you made for the second Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold fight. So lay it on us, Coach. What is the prediction here? Holly Holm versus Cris Cyborg. How's this going down?
Fuck you guys.
Busting your balls today, huh?
Not like, yeah, fucking A. I knew you guys were good. So you know what? I told you guys that fucking Dan Henderson, we're going to take him out with the left head kick. He must have blocked a good solid 4 of those, man. I think he was listening.
Yeah, he must have.
No, but yeah.
Does this mean you don't want to reveal it just in case Holly listens? I don't think she will. I think she's got better things to do.
She's going to put her out with either the right hand or the left hook. I would like to see the left hook because that's something we've been developing in the last couple of years, just like I helped Mike develop his left hook. She's natural power with the right hand. She'll punch you. She'll knock your fucking head off with the right hand, man or woman. Left hook too, and especially now she's throwing it really clean. So Holly's going to have to watch out for both hands. She's going to have to watch out with everything with Cris. Cris is just, she's just at another level these days. The nonstop training in her. She doesn't want to go to the floor with her. She doesn't want to go. She's not going to want to wrestle with Cris. And her best bet is sit there and try to strike with Cris, and that's where she's going to fall short and get caught in an exchange and go to sleep.
Well, there you guys go. An exciting fight happening, obviously, to round out 2017. Jason, thank you so much for coming onto the program. Don't worry, if Cris Cyborg listens to this, if Holly Holm listens to this interview, then she's probably not training hard enough for this Cris Cyborg fight. So it's a bonus either way. Thanks for coming onto the program and sharing your thoughts and insights. And the straight shooting ways are always appreciated here on Submission Radio, my friend. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, fellas. Thanks for having me on, man. Take it easy.